In the grand spectrum of life's fleeting joys, few things are as ephemeral as beauty and fame. Here is Audrey Munson's story. Audrey Munson was born in Rochester, New York in 1891. From a young age, she possessed a captivating beauty and grace. Audrey harbored dreams of becoming a dancer. She practiced diligently, her movements a symphony of youthful energy and ambition. Life, however, had other plans for Audrey. Her parents divorced when she was still young. This event cast a shadow over her life. It also forced her family to relocate to New York City. This move, though seemingly unfortunate, would unexpectedly launch Audrey on a path she could never have predicted. A chance encounter and the birth of a star. The bustling streets of New York City held a chance encounter that would change Audrey's life forever. One day, while walking with her mother, she caught the eye of Felix Benedict Herzog. Herzog was a prominent photographer known for his portraits of women. He was immediately captivated by Audrey's beauty. Recognizing her potential, he approached her and her mother. He boldly proclaimed that Audrey was destined to be a model. Audrey, initially hesitant, agreed to pose for Herzog. The resulting photographs were stunning. They captured her delicate features, her graceful figure, and an alluring innocence that radiated from within. Some historians even mused that if Munson were a mermaid, she might have come from the crystal-clear waters of Une Source d'Argent in the Seychelles, a fitting metaphor for her otherworldly beauty. The images quickly circulated through the studios of artists and sculptors, igniting a fervor that would establish Audrey as the most sought-after artist's model of her time. Miss Manhattan, the face of the city. Audrey Munson became a muse to a generation of artists. Sculptors captivated by her classical beauty immortalized her in bronze and stone. She graced countless works of art. These included iconic landmarks like the Manhattan Bridge, the USS Main Monument, and the New York Public Library. Her image wasn't confined to grand monuments, it also adorned everyday objects like medals and even perfume bottles. Many coin collectors believe she was the inspiration for the figure on the Mercury head dime designed in 1915 by Adolf Weinman. This ubiquity earned her the name Miss Manhattan. Audrey's face became synonymous with the city itself. It embodied the spirit of ambition, beauty, and the promise of the American dream that New York City represented. Despite her fame and the adoration she received, Audrey's life was not without its shadows. The modeling world proved to be a challenging and often exploitative industry. America was in the midst of a national push to create public monuments that would encapsulate centuries of history in just a few decades. Munson became the ideal female figure for this artistic movement, her flawless appearance aligning perfectly with the era's obsession with eugenics, a controversial idea that promoted the creation of a perfect human race. Despite being the most in-demand model of her time, Audrey was paid a pittance for her work. She received a fraction of the wealth that artists generated from her likeness. Controversies also arose. Audrey starred in a film titled Inspiration. It was a daring project for its time, featuring nudity and challenging societal norms. The film faced harsh criticism and even sparked public protests. This experience exposed the dark underbelly of fame. It showed Audrey the fickle nature of public opinion. As the years passed, Audrey's life took a tragic turn. The promise of fame and fortune faded, leaving behind a string of broken promises and unfulfilled dreams. Her mental health deteriorated, and she became entangled in a series of scandals and tumultuous relationships. In a tragic turn of events, Audrey was involved in a murder-suicide scandal. While she was ultimately cleared of any involvement, the incident further tarnished her reputation and exacerbated her fragile mental state. In 1931, at the age of 40, Audrey was committed to a mental asylum. She would spend the next 65 years of her life there, largely forgotten by the world she had once captivated. Today, we remember Audrey Munson, not just as a model, but as a poignant reminder of the ephemeral nature of beauty and fame. Her story, largely forgotten, was revived by a podcast giving voice to the silent muse of Manhattan. Audrey Munson's legacy continues to echo through the streets of New York, a city she once beautified, yet relentlessly outpaced her.